Hello, friends. Private Investigator Purr at your service. Some people really like to believe that they're above all rules, regulations, and regulators. Join me as we dive into a few cases where entitled people tried to fight with cops and were immediately humbled by arrests. Sarah's encounter with police. On July 4th, 2021, in La Crosse, Wisconsin, Sarah L. Buffeting found herself at the center of a tense encounter with law enforcement after displaying erratic behavior and allegedly stealing groceries. Her refusal to comply with police during a routine welfare check escalated into a significant altercation. Sarah's interaction with law enforcement began when an off-duty officer observed her erratic behavior, including walking into traffic and yelling at cars. Identified as Sarah, she was also suspected of stealing groceries from a convenience store. When approached by officers for a welfare check, she became defensive and tried to walk away, even dropping a case of beer she was carrying, which raised suspicion about her shoplifting.
Stole it from Quick Trip.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
I was not at Quick Trip.
Okay. Stop.
Even after being told multiple times to stop, Buffeting kept walking. The officers informed Sarah she was being detained for theft and a couple of damage complaints, but she locked her arms, resisting any attempts to be handcuffed, claiming,
Let go of my hands now.
I'm not going to do that.
You have no right to touch me.
Yes, I do. All right? You're being detained.
Despite officers' attempts to reason with her, Sarah was uncooperative, even attempting a childish countdown from 3, insinuating she would take action against the officers, which ended with her being handcuffed.
Let go of my backpack now.
You want us to cut it?
1,
Unlock your arms.
2,
Sarah.
3. 1, 2, 3.
During the arrest, Sarah's non-compliance escalated as she thrashed around, attempting to kick the officers.
Don't kick. Stop.
Sarah, knock it off.
We're going to jail.
Yeah.
Despite being restrained and placed face down on the ground, she continued to be uncooperative, even making sarcastic remarks about liking an officer's gun. She was warned about the charges she was facing, including battery to a police officer, stealing a motorcycle, felony bail jumping, and resisting arrest causing injury.
3 or 4 investigations involving you going on right now.
Throughout the ordeal, Sarah repeatedly demanded to be released, questioning her illegal actions and refusing to stand up when instructed.
I never stole anything.
Okay. Take your push back.
No.
Yeah.
Let go of me.
Stop.
Let go.
Stop. Sarah, knock it off.
Her insistence on not understanding her arrest, coupled with demands to remove the handcuffs, showcased her continuous defiance. Even when moved to a second patrol car, she resisted, leading to further struggles with law enforcement. Ultimately, Sarah was taken to the police station, still believing she'd done nothing wrong and claiming she was being treated unfairly. The incident concluded with her facing charges for her actions against the officers and her resistance during the arrest. But Sarah's entitlement is nothing compared to that of Fair and Sally. Fair and Sally's traffic stop.
I am a public figure.
Okay.
I find this very publicly humiliating.
News anchor Fair and Sally's traffic stop quickly escalated when she attempted to use her public figure status to influence police officers. The stop was initiated due to her driving without taillights, which she only activated after being pulled over. When requested for her license, registration, and proof of insurance, Sally's irritation was palpable.
Reason why I'm pulling you over is because you're actually driving with no taillights. I believe you're only driving with your daytime driving lights on. And yep, they're completely off. There you go. Can I see your license, registration, proof of insurance, please?
The bodycam footage showed her scrolling on her phone extremely irritably. When asked what the problem is, she responds,
What's wrong?
You.
Why?
I don't feel like being pulled over.
I'm sorry?
I don't feel like being pulled over right now.
Okay.
Sally admitted to having one drink when questioned by the officer, who noted a strong alcohol odor despite her claim of minimal alcohol consumption. Her behavior suggested otherwise. She became confrontational, questioning the officer's actions and insisting her own interpretation of the situation.
God, I've had one drink tonight.
Okay. Well, it's pretty strong smell coming off your breath.
Okay, then. Don't care what you have to say. I don't care what you have to say either.
The officer's request for Sally to perform field sobriety tests was met with resistance and a declaration of her rights. She accused the officer of public humiliation, requesting the tests be conducted on a side street due to her status as a public figure.
I am a public figure.
Okay.
I find this very publicly humiliating.
The officer, who talked to her very respectfully throughout, even called her out on her weird entitled air.
Why are you talking to me in a condescending tone?
I'm not talking to you in a condescending tone. I'm speaking very affirmatively.
Is that how you normally talk to people?
I speak very affirmatively.
Okay. Alrighty.
Her demands were denied, and the interaction became increasingly intense as she failed to comply with instructions, undermining the officer's attempts to conduct the tests.
Okay, you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay.
Is this my last test?
Yes. Go ahead and look up.
Throughout the encounter, Sally oscillated between defiance and attempts to negotiate her way out, claiming knowledge of the officer's educational background and asserting her own qualifications. Her non-compliance culminated in her arrest for DUI, during which she resorted to flattery and self-victimization, suggesting her physical attractiveness should exempt her from legal consequences.
Right.
Sally's behavior post-arrest continued to be problematic. Despite being in a patrol vehicle, she maintained a combative attitude, challenging the officer's assessment of her intoxication and disputing the necessity of her arrest. Her interactions were marked by sarcasm, defiance, and an unwarranted sense of entitlement, all of which were documented by the officer's body camera.
You're arresting me. You're arresting me a mile away from my job.
The incident ended with Sally at the police station, where she continued to protest her treatment. She was subjected to a breath test, which she passed narrowly. Despite the breathalyzer results, the overall encounter demonstrated Sally's unwillingness to accept responsibility for her actions and her misguided belief that her public persona could influence law enforcement procedures. In the aftermath, Sally faced professional repercussions as her employer suspended her. Brittany's case is even more severe and concerning. Brittany Scholar's DUI incident. On December 29, 2021, in La Crosse, Wisconsin, Brittany Scholar's DUI incident began when she collided her red Chevy into another vehicle, leading to a complex and confrontational interaction with law enforcement. The responding officers discovered a chaotic scene, with Scholar displaying clear signs of inebriation and becoming increasingly uncooperative. As the investigation progressed, Brittany Scholar's DUI incident commenced when she crashed her red Chevy into another car and then displayed extreme resistance during her interaction with law enforcement. At the scene, Scholar initially attempted to deflect responsibilities, stating,
Nobody's driving it. That's my car.
Despite the obvious damage and the situation's seriousness, she maintained a dismissive attitude, further complicating the officers' efforts to ascertain the details. The officers arrived at the scene after homeowners reported the crash. Upon questioning, Scholar exhibited signs of intoxication and confusion, providing inconsistent accounts of the incident. When asked about her alcohol consumption, Scholar ambiguously replied,
Have you had anything to drink tonight?
Unfortunately, no.
When inquired if she had anything to drink, contradicting the officer's sensory observations of alcohol presence. Initially, Scholar denied being in a crash, despite evidence to the contrary. She was defensive, refusing to answer basic questions regarding her condition or the accident. Shola claimed she hadn't consumed any alcohol, but the officers noted her glossy eyes, slurred speech, and the smell of alcohol on her breath. These observations prompted the police to conduct field sobriety tests, which Shola initially agreed to, but later resisted, further complicating the interaction. During the interaction, Shola repeatedly mentioned a personal tragedy as a diversion.
My brother died.
Yeah.
My brother died 3 months ago. Just let
She
me.
claimed, using this as a reason to avoid detention. Her erratic behavior continued as she yelled at officers.
Too good for that because you're a fucking piece of shit, fucking loser ass motherfucker.
The situation escalated as Shola became increasingly agitated, shouting and resisting physical control. Her behavior included making a series of nonsensical and confrontational statements, challenging the officers' authority and accusing them of harassment. Shola's demeanor went between belligerence and victimhood, complicating the officers' efforts to conduct a thorough investigation. During the field sobriety test, Shola's non-compliance and erratic behavior continued.
What am I even doing it for then? Fucking give me my ticket and let me fucking go the fuck home.
Do you have any questions?
She struggled to follow instructions, made irrelevant comments, and at times appeared to be on the verge of physical aggression. Her resistance was not just verbal. She physically pulled away from officers and refused to participate in the test properly. Shola's behavior did not improve upon arrest.
You're a fucking loser, piece of fucking shit! Yeah, go fuck yourself. Fucking loser.
Her
You're a
outburst showed a clear disregard for the gravity of the situation, and as she even accused the officers of assaulting her.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Brenna, get your foot in the car.
You're assaulting me!
Brenna, get your foot in the car.
You're assaulting me!
Despite their attempts to handle her gently, her actions during and after the arrest painted a clear picture of someone struggling with the immediate consequences of their actions, exhibiting a range of behaviors that complicated her legal troubles and interactions with the police. And last, but not least, we have a famous footballer who, with all the money in the world, just had to be driving his car under influence, and then Marshawn Lynch, asleep at the wheel. Marshawn Lynch, the former football player, was found by police asleep in his car, which was in a state of disrepair, leading to a DUI investigation. Upon discovery, law enforcement noticed that the vehicle's condition was severely compromised, with one wheel lacking a rim or tire and the other side's tires nearly detached. This incident occurred around 4 a.m., prompting immediate concern from the officers on the scene. When approached, Lynch was unresponsive and remained asleep despite the officers' attempts to wake him. The vehicle exhibited signs of recent operation, with the engine running and Lynch in the driver's seat, which indicated that he had been driving prior to being found. The officers noted a strong smell of alcohol emanating from within the vehicle, suggesting that Lynch was under the influence. Upon finally waking, Lynch was non-compliant with the officers. He provided confusing responses, such as,
Not your car? Oh, whose car is it? Did you steal the car? Yes?
which only added to the officer's perplexity. His refusal to exit the vehicle despite repeated commands created a standoff that escalated the situation. His refusal to cooperate extended to not answering questions or following instructions, which hindered the officer's ability to assess his condition and gather necessary information for the report. The officers, aiming to conduct a field sobriety test, faced resistance from Lynch, who remained in the vehicle and did not acknowledge the seriousness of the situation. They warned him, emphasizing the legal implications of his non-compliance.
Right now, if you don't get out of the vehicle, you're going to be charged with obstructing an investigation. That is a criminal offense, and you will go to jail.
His lack of cooperation was deemed obstructionist, and the situation necessitated additional police resources to ensure compliance and safety due to Lynch's size and physical stature. Throughout the interaction, Lynch did not acknowledge his state of intoxication or the potential danger he posed to himself and others by attempting to operate a vehicle in such a condition.
He does smell like alcohol.
Oh, I do smell it.
Yeah.
His refusal to engage in field sobriety tests or exit the vehicle for further assessment led to an arrest based on the observed evidence of intoxication and the hazardous state of his vehicle. After being taken into custody, Lynch was transported to a local police station where he was booked and faced charges related to DUI. His non-compliance at the scene translated into a challenging processing experience for law enforcement, who had to navigate his uncooperative behavior while ensuring procedural accuracy and safety. The incident raised questions about Lynch's judgment and the circumstances leading to his being found in such a precarious situation. Despite his public figure status, Lynch was subject to the same legal standards as any individual suspected of DUI, with his actions at the scene serving as a clear example of how not to interact with law enforcement during a traffic stop investigation. And that brings us to a very satisfying end of entitled people thinking they're above the law and picking fights with law enforcement. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos on Imperfect Criminal with Private Investigator Purr. Over and out.